As we all know, the Warzone meta has been as balanced as it's ever been since the start of the game, and in this video we're going to go over 6 weapons that might have slipped through the cracks and are completely underrated inside Warzone Season 3. If you enjoy weapon stat breakdowns and weapon comparisons and just overall tips and tricks for Warzone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and also click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel. We do post short content as well as extra gameplay content over there as well. At number 6 we have the M16. Now the M16's always been valuable even after all the changes. It's still a pretty good weapon to use in Warzone, especially for mid to long range. Now if you're going past super long ranges then you cannot snipe with this anymore because the optic changes, but it's still a great weapon at mid to long range and it's super easy to control compared to the other burst fire attack rifles, and you do still get that headshot multiplier that the Carve 2 does not give you. You do want to use the agency suppressor. This doesn't really change. It gives you the sound suppression, recoil control, bullet velocity and damage range. Then you do want to go for the field agent foregrip. This is going to help with overall recoil control. Then for ammunition, the 45 round mags is more than enough. You don't need anything larger than this. Because it is a burst fire weapon, you don't really burn through ammo as quick as you would with a fully automatic. Then for the barrel attachments, you've actually got a couple of options here. So you've got the strike team barrel, which used to be the best barrel for the M16 without a doubt, but you no longer get that huge bonus to bullet velocity anymore with this barrel. You do still get the fire rate bonus, but there's not that huge bonus to bullet velocity. Now the best barrel that gives you bullet velocity now is actually the task force barrel, but it does give you a con to recoil control, both vertical and horizontal. But I still think the M16, comparing it to the AUG and the Carve, is the easier one to control. So I would go for the task force barrel, but the strike team is a good option as well. Lastly, when it comes to optics, some people might choose the Vision Tech 2 times because it looks the same as it always did before, but personally I do think the Axial 3 times is still the best optic for this gun, even after the optic changes. But if you want a little bit extra zoom, then go for the Royal and Cross 4 times. That will give you that little bit extra zoom that you might need. But personally my favourite is Axial Arms, and this is the way I would build the M16 if I was to use it. Like I said, the task force does add a little bit of recoil to the gun, but you do want that bullet velocity there because that is super important to make sure your shots are connecting at those longer distances. At number 5, we actually have a really sleeper gun, which is the Stoner LMG. Now, LMGs are not popular because of their movement, but Cold War LMGs specifically still have decent enough movement. And the reason why people don't choose the Stoner is because the barrel attachments are messed up, and hopefully they fix that soon. But for the muzzle, you do want that agency suppressor for the sound suppression, bullet velocity, recoil control, and the damage range. Then for the underbarrel, you have to use the field agent grip. This controls your recoil as best as possible. Then for the ammunition attachment, I would leave this blank. 75 rounds is plenty, especially for Warzone. You can take out multiple enemies with 75 rounds. Then for the optic, again, you could choose your personal preference here, but I really do like the Axial 3 times optic. Then for the barrel, I would still go for the task force barrel. Now it does give you a con to recoil control, and there's only really 2 options for barrels with the Stoner, especially for a long range build like this. You can go for the match grade, which extends out your damage range, or you can go for the task force, which gives you the bullet velocity benefits and extends out your damage range. Now, like I said, the Stoner doesn't have really crazy recoil. It is vertically upwards, which is easy to manage for most people. So I think the task force barrel is definitely the clear option here. And you also get that bonus to strafe speed as well. So this is what you cannot get with the Modern Warfare weapons. Then for the last attachment, I would choose the Serpent Wrap to help out with that ADS time. And then that is the best Stoner build in my opinion, especially if you're building it for long range. At number 4, we have the fastest killing up close weapon inside Warzone. And this is actually joint with the M16 Akimbo pistols. But this gun allows you to ADS and get a little bit extra range out of your gun as well, and that's the Gallo shotgun. Now the Gallo shotgun's always been great in Warzone. I think it is the best shotgun in the game, but I still don't see a lot of people using this and still choose the Street Sweeper. I don't think the Street Sweeper is as good as the Gallo, so I'll give you the best class setup for it just now, which is the Agency Choke. You do want that effective damage range bonus. That's what you want from this, because you want to extend the damage range out as far as you possibly can with the Gallo shotgun. Then for the barrel, you actually want to use the reinforced heavy barrel to extend out the damage range even further to get it as close to 10 meters as you possibly can. It also gives you a boost to fire rate as well, which is in turn going to make your time to kill quicker. Then you do want the largest mags possible, of course. Reloading this gun takes a long time as well. And then you do want the 5mm laser, which is going to give you the best hip fire accuracy possible. And then lastly, you want the no stock attachment to improve your sprint to fire time, so again you can hip fire a lot quicker. If you're trying out loads of SMGs and you just can't seem to find that SMG that kills quick enough up close, then you're looking at the wrong category of weapon, because the Gal 12 shotgun kills faster than pretty much every SMG in the game at the minute. At number 3, we actually have the PKM. Now, like I said, if you do like that movement, then I'd go with the Stoner. But if you just want a good time to kill and a good recoil pattern, and you're fed up of using the AMAX for that, then the PKM is an amazing option as well. This gun kills super quick, and you also get a huge magazine as well. So you do want to use the monolithic suppressor to give you the sound suppression and the damage range. Then for the barrel, you do want to use the 26.9 extended barrel for the bullet velocity, the damage range, and the recoil control. Then you do want to use the snatch grip. This is the best attachment for the PKM. It gives you recoil control and a faster ADS. Then I would go with the tac laser, because you do need that faster ADS with the Modern Warfare LMGs. You can't really use this without the tac laser, in my opinion. And then lastly, you do want that VLK optic on there to give you the best optics and the cleanest optics, so you can beam people at long range. Now, obviously the important thing here is to pair this with a gun that does have good movement. So make sure you pair it with an SMG or a shotgun, or even like an AR SMG build, and you could kind of run this as a double AR class. And speaking of SMGs, an SMG everyone is sleeping on right now is the LC10. Now, just because it doesn't have the fastest time to kill potential doesn't mean it's not a good SMG. This gun actually fries up close, and it also has a really good headshot multiplier as well. And the fact that you can land headshots so easily with this gun definitely puts it in the underrated list. So people choose guns like the AK-74U or the Bullfrog instead, but this gun also has a really good headshot multiplier. So in my opinion, the best way I would build this is the sound suppressor. It gives you sound suppression, aim down sight speed, bullet velocity, and sprint to fire speeds. You don't really need the agency suppressor, but if you're running this as sniper support, then you could maybe go for the agency suppressor instead. But personally, I like the sound suppressor. Then you'd want to go for the task force barrel for the effective damage range bonus, the bullet velocity bonus, and the strafe speed bonus as well, which is definitely going to be very useful when you're up close. Then for ammunition, you actually want to go for the 55 round mag. This is the biggest mags you can get on the LC10, and for Warzone there's not really any other option. Then for the stock, I would go for the SAS combat stock for that faster strafing speed and the faster ADS movement speed. And then lastly, you could choose whatever you want here, but personally I would go for the Serpent Wrap for a faster ADS time, because you do want to be really quick and snappy with this gun, because you don't have that time to kill potential if you're landing only body shots. You want to make sure you can aim down sight really quick, aim at the head, and land a lot of shots off. And you don't need any recoil controlling attachments with this gun, because it doesn't really have any recoil anyway. And last but not least, we actually have a gun that no one really talks about anymore, and it used to be all the rave back in season 2. This was the gun that everyone used, but now no one uses apparently. But if you still pick up that ground loot FFAR, you still notice that you can fry enemies with it, and that's because its time to kill is so consistent. And as sniper support, this gun still performs extremely well. So I would highly recommend still trying out this gun as sniper support, especially if you're running it with a Car 98. For the muzzle, you do want to go for the agency suppressor. Now, it doesn't actually help with aim down sight time, but it doesn't hurt your aim down sight time like the agency suppressor does. But you do still get a bonus to sprint to fire speed, bullet velocity, and you get the sound suppression. Then for the barrel, you do want to use the task force barrel. Now, it does hurt your recoil, and if you don't know how to control recoil with this gun, it's going to be tough to use it this way. So you can opt to go for something else, but this is the way I would use this. You want to get the ultimate strafe speed as you possibly can from this gun, and it also gives you bullet velocity and damage range bonuses as well. Like I said, the task force barrel is probably what makes this build a great SMG or a great sniper support weapon. So like I said, I'd go with the task force. Then you want to go for the 50 round Stanag mags, because this doesn't hurt your aim down sight time as much as the salvo mags do. Then I would go with the Raider stock. This is what we've been using on the FFAR for such a long time now. So I would still go for the Raider stock for that faster strafing speeds. And then lastly, I would go for the Serpent Wrap to help with your ADS a little bit more, and that should compensate for the Stanag mags. And then that is the best sniper support FFAR build in my opinion. If you do struggle with the recoil, like I said, you can swap out the task force barrel for a grip, a laser, or an optic if you really need to. but this is the way I would use the FFAR1 as sniper support, and it still fries inside Warzone. So there we have it. There are 6 underrated weapons that are currently inside Warzone that you need to give a go, because no one's actually talking about these weapons, and if you do build them and the way I've shown you, you can still fry enemies because the meta is so diverse. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And also click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel. And thank you very much for watching.